What is up, Survivor Thrivers? Authentically Me, Regina B, is back with another video. How are you? I hope you've been well. I hope you've been in good health. Today is Tuesday, January 14th. It's the second day that my kids were able to return to school. They were out from 12/23 all the way to yesterday, the 13th, due to snow and bad weather. Their winter break was extended. And so they're back at school. My husband's at work. My son is working. And so now I have some space and some grace and opportunity to get on here and do a video with you guys. So I'm back. I hope you've been well and I hope you've been in good health. I know that a lot of people have been struggling, especially coming out of the holiday season. So I do hope that you're taking time to take care of you, that you're taking time to recalibrate yourself, realign yourself, get back in tune with who you are. And I hope that 2025 is looking nothing but up for you. So let's get into the Somatic Therapy Workbook by Cher Hampton. We are past chapter 2 and we are picking back up at page 22 if you would like to follow along. And so we stopped at an exercise to connect the sensations of your body. So it says 1, find a quiet space where you won't be interrupted for a few minutes. Voila. 2, sit or stand comfortably with your eyes closed and take a few deep breaths. And usually, like in yoga, when we have people take grounding breaths before we get into our workout, or now that I instruct Pilates, the way that we find our diaphragmatic breath is by taking some deep breaths in and placing our hands at the low bottom of our ribs. But yes, and on a count of 4. So in through the nose for 4 and out of the mouth for 4, or in through the nose for 4 and out of the nose for 4. Another really good one is box breathing. And what that is a count of 4, inhale, hold for a count of 4, exhale for a count of 4, and then hold at the bottom for a count of 4. And there's some really good articles out there that talk about different breaths that you can do to help you with whatever emotion you're going through, like the breath of fire, where it's like really fast, like belly breathing. Then it says 3, focus on your feet and try to feel the soles of your feet against the ground. Notice any sensations such as warmth or coldness, tingling, or pressure. 4, move your attention up your body to your legs. Feel the weight of your legs against the surface supporting you. Notice any sensations like tension or relaxation. Now bring your attention to your back. Notice any sensations in your spine, shoulders, and neck, such as tightness or ease. 6, next, focus on your chest and take a deep breath. Notice the sensation of your lungs filling up with air and the expansion of your chest. Move to your arms and hands. Do you feel heavy or light? Are they warm or cold? Finally, bring your attention to your head, neck, and face. Notice any sensations such as tension or relaxation in your facial muscles. 9, take a few more deep breaths, and when you're ready, open your eyes. Challenge yourself. Pay attention next time you feel a shiver down your spine or a flutter in your stomach. Your body is trying to tell you something. Embrace the language of sensations and movement and embark on a journey of self-discovery and connection with the world around you. So yes, all of this is great. If you develop a meditation practice, this is the same guideline you would follow for that meditation practice. The Nike Train Club app, this just crossed through my mind as I was reading. The Nike Train Club app, it used to be a premium app, but it is free. It has been free since we were on quarantine. They opened it up to the public to help support health and wellness and mental health and mental wellness. But they have great breathwork exercises that's under their yoga section, and they have great yoga sessions with all these different wonderful yoga instructors. They have great training courses on there. Workouts is similar to Apple Fitness, but Apple Fitness is a fee. You have to pay a monthly fee for it, whereas with this you don't. But there's some really good instructors on there that have 5 minute and 10 minute, and I believe the most is maybe 15 minute, 10 or 15 minutes of just breath work, calming breath, de-stressing breath. And so I really, really recommend that if this is something you're interested in, and if this is something that you can't sit down and do, especially right now, definitely look into that. There's videos on YouTube that help you get into meditation. But this, to me, it sounds like a practice in being mindful, as well as a way to get into meditation. And that's exactly what meditation is. It's doing a body scan, is what we call it in yoga. So closing down the eyes, clearing out the breath, noticing the breath, and then going through a body scan from the bottom of your feet all the way up to the top of your head. In personal training, we call it proprioception. And proprioception, if I'm saying the word right, that's how, when I saw it, that's how I said it in my head, that's how I'm saying it. You can look it up for yourself. But what that is the ability to close your eyes, but you're still able to see yourself. So you're able to visualize yourself in space and where you're at. Hold on. And so that's what proprioception is. And so that is a part of yoga as well. So sitting with your eyes closed and then just starting to go through that body scan, starting with the bottom of the feet, going all the way up through the ankle, through that shin, coming in through the knee. And then again, once you get into that body scan and once you get into the flow of that practice, how you go deeper into meditation or maybe into this mindfulness practice is that, yes, then you start to notice sensations. Are you holding any tightness in anywhere in your face? Are your eyebrows kind of scrunched together? Is your nose kind of scrunched up? Do you feel tightness in your jaw? Are you clenching in your jaw? So yeah, but I would definitely look up the Nike Train Club app to help you in that journey if you're looking for guided breath work, or research it on YouTube. Pause for one moment. I had to make sure that it was still recording since I just got a phone call. So next it says how stress and trauma affect your body. Fight or flight mode is our body's natural response to stressful or traumatic events. This kind of response triggers a series of psychological changes in your body. In our bodies, it's what makes our hearts beat faster, our breath quickens, and our muscles are all ready for action. It's literally the body's version of all hands on deck. Being stuck in fight or flight response mode can look like this. You're becoming extremely reactive or defensive when you're being held accountable for something or criticized. You are ignoring or shutting out other people's perspectives. You are feeling easily threatened in some way or another. You tend to shout or become overly aggressive during conflict situations. You have an explosive temper with a tendency to experience shame afterwards. Avoidance. You are physically leaving uncomfortable situations or avoiding difficult topics or hard conversation. You are escaping reality through distractions such as choosing to overwork yourself or other types of coping mechanisms. You are struggling with commitment and feeling trapped. When we're stuck in fight or flight mode, we're essentially running off on survival energy of cortisol, adrenaline, chaos, and fear. We're terrified that if we simply just let ourselves be for a moment or two, that if we slow down, we're never going to get back up and go again. We worry that if we don't overactivate our nervous system with something or anything that will give us some kind of rush, we will not be able to function effectively. So I'm going to pause right there. One of the things that comes to my mind right now is, yes, I do agree with all of these things. And sometimes the sensations that you feel in your body, like for me, if I'm in flight or flight, I feel butterflies in my stomach. Or if I'm in fight or flight and I feel like fight, my head becomes very hot. My face becomes very hot. But excitement also triggers your fight or flight response. Being active, like running or doing Zumba or some kind of workout activity, triggers your fight or flight. you have good stress in the body and you have bad stress in the body. And the body's natural response to stress in general is fight or flight. And so as you start to notice those maybe negative responses to fight or flight mode, start to try to notice when you're in flight or flight. So when you're excited about something. So for example, my daughter got the lead role in her Matilda play at school, at middle school. And she's so excited. She's like, oh, and she's feeling all these things and her heart rate is up and she's feeling tickly in her stomach. That's because she's stressed, but in a positive way because she's excited about something, right? Sometimes we label things as being nervous, and it could just be you're excited. Your adrenaline's going. So I just wanted to put that in there because that's something that I've learned. Like even in running, as Knox Robinson always says, there's always a little bit of trepidation. So there's always a little bit of uncertainty, nervousness before you start a run. But once you get into it and once that body warms up, you're just like, I do this. This is what I do. So just wanted to throw that out there to maybe get your wheels turning in a different direction when it comes to considering fight or flight, considering what is negative stress and what is positive stress, and knowing that the body's natural response to both of these is the fight or flight. While fight or flight mode can be life-saving in immediate dangerous situations, when we experience chronic stress, it can lead to a range of health problems ranging from anxiety, depression, health issues, and other heart-related diseases. These are all conditions that can negatively impact and affect our daily lives, making it more difficult to interact and engage fully with our lives. Chronic stress also influences our immune systems because of increased hormone production. When this happens, we also become more susceptible to illness. It's important that we learn to teach ourselves how to manage stress, navigate life's challenges, and develop healthier coping mechanisms without relying too much on fight or flight responses. When we allow ourselves to ease into the cycles of our bodies, when we connect more deeply to them, our bodies can recover and tap into an energy that is much more powerful, grounding, and nourishing to our souls. Very nice. And so next she's getting into the topic of releasing tension with body awareness tools. And one of the subheadings is deep breathing, breathing through your belly. And then, she goes through steps on how to breathe and how to do body scans. And since I already talked about that very heavily, I'm not even going to get into it because it really is like the diaphragmatic breathing. I talked about that because that's what we use in Pilates. And then she tells you how to set the stage, which is really just grounding yourself, standing still, shoulders back, chest, sternum open. Core is zippered up into that. Well, the navel is zippered up into that spine. So that just means if you're going to zipper your pants, you're zipping that core in. And then you feel yourself naturally sit up tall. You start to think about your tailbone going all the way up into your spine. Chin is parallel to the ground. And then once you're set up in a comfortable position, you can also sit on the edge of a chair or sit back in a chair with your feet firmly planted on the ground. You can do it standing as well. But yeah, this is just and look, the body scan, I already talked about that. So that's what she's getting to as far as being able to release tension with body awareness tools. And then she does get into some things that we'll come to next time, which is progressive muscle relaxation. And then again, she's going into mindfulness meditation, stretching, and yoga. And so all of this, guys, is things that we naturally know. Well, not that you naturally know, but if you have practiced yoga before, this is exactly what a yoga instructor will tell you to do. We hold a lot of tension in our neck, in our shoulders, in our hips. We hold a lot of trauma and emotions. I know I do. And so when I do, for example, half pigeon on the ground, I close my eyes down and I really allow myself to soften into that position while opening up my hips. So, and then she talks about doing a body scan. Start by clenching your jaw, lower your shoulders. We say roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Stretch your legs, lift your toes, clench your fists. Yeah, and so then we are actually going to pick back up on page 31 when we come back for our next video, because it's ending out this second chapter. You know what? We got time. I'm going to go through page 31 and we're going to end out the chapter and pick back up at chapter 3. So she says, things I want you to remember: connecting to your body is a process and it's okay to start small. Be patient and celebrate each step forward, no matter how small or insignificant it may be. Pay attention to the signals your body sends you, whether it's hunger, fatigue, or stress. Your body communicates its needs through various sensations. Learn to interpret these signals, respond accordingly. Mindfulness is a gateway to presence and connection. Engage in activities that promote mindfulness, such as yoga, meditation, or deep breathing exercise, Pilates, running, judo, Zumba. Engage your senses to connect with your body. Take a moment to appreciate the taste, smell, texture, and sounds around you. By fully immersing yourself in the present moment, you become more attuned to your body's responses. Nourish your body. The body rewards us when we reward it. The nourishment of your body goes beyond just food. Pay attention to the quality and the quantity of food you consume and the level of hydration, sleep, and exercise you engage. Let go of any judgment or criticism towards your body. Accept it as it is, knowing that it's unique and capable of amazing things. Embrace your body's strength and appreciate all that it allows you to do. Yes, you only have one body. You can only be one you. You might as well accept it because everybody else is taken. So it says, find creative outlets to express yourself and connect with your body, whether it's through art, dance, or writing. Allow your body to be a vessel for self-expression and self-discovery. Take time to explore your body and its capabilities. Engage in activities that promote body awareness, such as stretching, massage, or even simply taking a few moments to check in with yourself throughout the day. As you continue to learn and develop a stronger connection with your body, celebrate every milestone and achievement. Recognize the growth you've made and use it as fuel to continue deepening your connection. In the next chapter, we'll explore self-discovery and healing, what it means to be ourselves and make personal breakthroughs in the healing process. Are you ready? I know I am. Yes, so we are at chapter 3, techniques for self-exploration and healing. So that was us finishing out chapter 2. I really enjoyed all of that. And I really am grateful that yoga has been that vessel for me to get more in tune with my body and to be able to trust my body's sensations, to be able to know when I feel safe and when I don't feel safe, to notice like in my shoulders, if I'm starting to feel tension in my shoulders, like pain in my shoulder, that I'm probably working through some type of trigger. When I feel that cloudiness in my head, to take a moment to breathe, to take a moment to stretch. I'm also very grateful that in my yoga practice, I'm able to use my movement as an act of praise, as an act of worship. And so when I go through my yoga flows, I'm giving thanksgiving. I'm giving gratefulness. And so the more that I do that and just meditate just on how good God is, how far he's brought me, it's definitely deepened my practice. It's definitely deepened my faith and my relationship with God and Jesus. And so I really enjoy all the tips that she has in here. And that's why I always say, if you have an opportunity, get out there and get after whatever your get after is, because it's so important to the body. And right now, it's so easy for us to be stagnant. In today's world, we have our phones, we can order food, we can have Instacart. We don't have to go anywhere. We can have everything delivered to us. And so the body was made to move. Our body was meant to propel us forward. And so it's very important to get out there and make sure you get after it, right? Something I wanted to share with you guys really quickly that I felt called to share. So after my run today, I'm listening to this song by We the People called Dancing on the Waves. And the iFit trainer that I was watching was running along a beach. And so I had this image of these waves crashing over. And in the song, the chorus is, "We'll be walking on the water, dancing on the waves." It's a beautiful song. I encourage you to look it up. And so I'm meditating on that at the end of my run, and I'm just looking at the water. I'm thinking about water. I'm thinking about how those waves that were crashing by the iFit trainer, you just sink right through. The waves came up under his feet, which then got me to thinking about Peter. When Peter asked Jesus, "Hey, Lord, if that's you," and I'm paraphrasing, "Hey, Lord, if that's you, let me come out to you." And Jesus said, "Come on." So Peter stepped out the boat, he stepped onto the water, and he was making his way towards Jesus. And then what does he do? He looks back. And so for a moment there, I'm like, what did he see when he looked back? Did he see these raging, huge waves and just utter just darkness going all the way to where there's no more of anything you can't see? You can't see the ocean or the sky's just darkness. Did he see the boat? Did he see that he was far away from the boat, far away from safety? So I'm thinking about that. And then I was blessed to realize that me, myself, and maybe this is you too, we already on the water. And yet we look back. And so what that means to me is that we've already stepped out on faith. He's already said, come on. He's already given us a firm foundation. And all we have to do is continue pressing forward. Not let what's raging behind us cause us to sink. And the beautiful thing about that story too is that even though Peter begins to sink because he looked back and became afraid, when he cried out, "Oh Lord, save me," Jesus reaches down and saves him and asks him, "Why did you fear? You must have faith." And so I just kept thinking about that, and I thought, oh, that's so good. I want to share it because sometimes we're on the water, moving forward, heading towards the light. And we look back and we let the darkness and those big waves cause us to sink. Don't look back. We may have had some traumatic experiences, some hurtful things happen to us, some scary things happen. I've heard stories that have shook my heart, that have disturbed my mind. No matter how dark your past is, your future is a bright, beaming light. Jesus is light. And when you're curious and when you want to step out on faith, he doesn't say, well, remember when this happened? Or look back at that storm. Or look what happened the last time you did it. No, don't come out. He says, come on. So I just wanted to share that with you. I have my Bible here and I have it highlighted for you if you want to look up the story. So we have 3 different accounts because we know that Jesus had so many disciples with him, but Matthew, Mark, and John are the disciples that are in the Bible. They all tell their stories from their perspective, from what they saw, as we all do in the world. So the first account of it is in Matthew. It's in Matthew chapter 14, verse 22. And then if you want Mark's account of it, it's Mark 6:45. And then if you want John's version, it is John 6:16. I really encourage you to look up that story and to just think about what that means for your life. When you're on the water, you're not sinking, and you're stepping forward, whether it's cautiously, like she just said in this, whether it's small, tiny steps. but you are making progress forward. Jesus is the light. The darkness and the waves are behind us. Let's choose to move forward. And even if we look back at the darkness, we've already conquered 100% of our darkest days. Truly, from my heart to you. So thank you so much for rocking with this video, especially if you made it this far. I greatly appreciate your love and support. CD, I'm looking for you in the comments, my day one, #1 subscriber. Thank you so much for being a part of the journey with me. And make sure you find an opportunity to get out there and get after whatever your get after is, if you are able to get after it. I love you. God loves you so much more.